Hi, and welcome to Moonbeam Connections. I'm Jacqui-Leigh. Today on Tarot Whispers, we're going to be looking at the Magician. So I do, there, oh, that's not bad for focus. So you can see the Magician here. You can see he's got an infinity sign above his head. There's a snake belt. He's got the wands and the cups and the swords and the wands, cups, swords, and pentacles. And so basically, this is the second card of the tarot deck, although it is labeled number one because the Fool is the 0. So that's all about starting. So we're right at the beginning of our adventure. And this is one of the Major Arcana cards. And the Magician is basically kind of what it sounds. You have the ability to create, to use your magic and get whatever you want, accomplish whatever you want. So this is about manifestation, power, in particular your power, you having the power, you having the skills, you having the resources. So the Magician in general is all about you having the ability to create whatever you want within your life, right? You want a happy marriage, a happy relationship, you have the ability and resources to create that. You've just got to use that ability and those resources wisely, right? You want to get into a certain career field, you have the ability to manifest that, right? And this isn't about, a lot of times the Magician kind of sounds like, oh, well, I'll just sit here and I'll say, this is what I want. I want a, you know, let's just say a really tall, rich, handsome man who's just going to come in and sweep me off my feet. I'll just sit here and wait for him and manifest it. That's not how manifestation works at all. With manifestation, it's doing the work, putting in the work to get to where you want to go. So you want to meet that tall, rich guy. Well, you're going to have to go out. You're going to have to socialize a bit, start meeting some people. You want him to be rich? Well, maybe you should get yourself into a career field where you can make quite a bit of money and where you will be around people who make quite a bit of money, right? That sort of thing. You want a guy who's funny, maybe hang out at comedy clubs, trying to find someone who also enjoys comedy and happiness. You like whitewater rafting. Well, and you want somebody who enjoys whitewater rafting with you. You got to go out and go to places where people who whitewater raft are, right? Particularly the river in the raft, that type of thing. So the Magician is all about you having the skills and the resources at your disposal to manifest what you want. But this isn't, I sit back and wait for it to happen, I just think about it. No, this is putting your resources into effect and getting what you want. So if you want a particular job, that might be, okay, I'm going to go to school and I'm going to learn this, or I'm going to take maybe a couple classes to upgrade my knowledge. I am going to go to that company and I'm going to get an entry level position. Even though it's not the one I want right now, I'm going to go and get the entry level position. I'm going to start learning the company from the inside. I'm going to start getting my time in. I'm going to start learning more and more and more for the role that I do actually want, so that I can progress my way to that role, right? Nobody becomes a doctor or a pilot just by thinking, you know what, I want to be a doctor. And I'll just sit here and I'll just wait and I'll manifest it. And tomorrow or next week or next year, I will have all the knowledge I need, all the skills I need, and I'll have a job just laid out for me. That is not what happens at all in this situation. You will not manifest what you want if you're just sitting back. You must actually use your resources. So you want to become a doctor, go to school and learn medicine, do your residency, apply for positions and become a doctor. It's not going to, just because I think about it, I manifest it. No, you have to actually put in effort in order to manifest what you want. So I'm just going to put the card to the side here, and we are going to get some messages from Spirit about the Magician. What Spirit wants to say about the Magician. So I'll bring out my board here to write on. As always, I don't speak while I'm writing. So I will silently write, but I will dub over it again. So if the voice sounds a little bit off or doesn't quite line up or something like that, that is why. I do try my best. So we're going to be looking at the Magician. I'll meditate for a second here and we will begin. The Magician is all about manifesting your dreams. The biggest issues with dreams is that they stay dreams. Fear, hesitation, fear of not being good enough, or fear of failure are all things that hold people back from realizing their dreams. You need to live life not fearing, not caring about outcomes. Move forward. Go for what you want, even in failure. There is something to learn. And this failure may lead to the greatest success of your life. The biggest failure you can make is not even try. People get stuck in their heads in the busy lives, in their I'm not good enough thoughts, and don't pursue what they truly want or desire. The only difference between those who are successful and those who are not successful is their ability to cut through the fear, cut through the doubts, and do. There is no try. There is only doing. Everything is worth your time and effort if it is what you want. Effort today may not land you where you had initially intended to go, but it will land you in a different life and different place you may enjoy much more. Love. So, yeah, this is all about manifesting your dreams. Like, the biggest issue is that people stay in their fear, right? Oh, I'm afraid that if I do that, people will make fun of me. I've never done this before. They hesitate, right? Like, oh, will I really be a success? Is it really worth putting all this time and effort into it, right? Fear of not being good enough. Now, isn't that a big one, right? I'm not as good as that person over there. I'm not as good as that person over there. One thing I've learned in my life is a lot of times it's not the people who you think are the greatest people are not necessarily the ones who are best at the job, not necessarily the ones who know the most. Is actually the ones who have the most confidence to just say what they're thinking and not be afraid of being wrong, right? Like, I'm willing to put this out there and say this, and if someone comes back at me and is like, that's totally wrong and these are the reasons why, okay, I'll accept that and I'll take that in, and I'll change my viewpoint, I'll change my opinions, I'll change how I'm doing the work. But we're going to move forward, right? And and a lot of times you have these very quiet, shy people who actually have a ton of knowledge and could be great leaders and could really, push the company this way, help the relationship, whatever situation it happens to be in. But they don't feel like they're good enough. They feel, oh, other people's opinions are better. Other people have better ideas. And really, it's just about getting over the fear that in your head, right? There's nothing to fear but fear itself. I think Churchill said that. I'm not great with history. But that's really what it is, right? You have a fear that I'm not going to be successful. I'm not going to do. And who cares if you're not successful, right? Like, say, oh, I really want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor. So I'm going to study and study and study. And oh, I just couldn't make it through medical school. So I didn't become a doctor. But maybe you were successful at becoming a nurse, or maybe you were successful in some other department, but you never would have gone that way if you hadn't first taken this road, right? So no effort is ever wasted because it's teaching you lessons. It's, and it's better to not have regrets. Don't live with regrets, right? I don't want to think, oh, I should have done that. I want to be like, okay, I did do it. It failed, but now I know, like, it was a failure. So at least I can move on with my life and not keep thinking, oh, if I had done that, what if, right? And so really this is all about getting out of your head, getting out of the I'm not good enough, and just doing one step, one step, one step. Just do the next step. Don't worry about outcomes either, right? We're just going to do the next step, and eventually I will get somewhere, right? I won't be stuck where I am. You don't take that next step, you're never going to get anywhere different than where you currently are. I hope this message helped you. I'm definitely sending everyone peace, love, and happiness. Bye for now.